Okay, you have your NFL Week 14 predictions. So, don't know the results for the Monday or Sunday night game yet, but you have your first game, the Titans versus the Jaguars. Both teams got blown out. The Jaguars by the Lions, and then the Titans got blown out by the Eagles. Jaguars, their offense have looked good at times. Lawrence has played all right, but he did get injured, but he did come back and play. Their defense though is definitely a weak spot for them. Have not done well. The Titans though, their defense this season has done really well, but against the Eagles, they did not. And their offense, Derrick Henry, these last couple of games have gone shut down. And without Derrick Henry, the offense just cannot function. But the Jaguars' defense is not good. And I see Derrick Henry having one of his better games. So I got to take the Titans. Then I have the Bills versus the Jets. I think this one's definitely going to be a good game. The Bills coming off a win against the Patriots, while the Jets coming off a close loss versus Minnesota. The Jets defense is still very, very good. In the second half, they pretty much shut down Minnesota other than that touchdown. Their offense still cannot function. They had a good game against the Bears, Mike White, but against the Vikings, they could not prevail. And I still see that Jets offense as a big weakness, and the Bills definitely have one of the better defenses that's getting healthy. Von Miller is injured, but they're getting more linebackers back and getting healthy, and we know how good the Bills offense has been, so I gotta take the Bills. Then you have the Bengals versus the Browns. Bengals come off a huge win against the Chiefs, while the Browns come off a win against the Texans. The Browns defense actually did good versus the Texans, but it is the Texans offense, and their defense overall has not done well. Deshaun Watson did not look good against a bad Texans defense. The Bengals, their defense actually did very well against the Chiefs, and overall this season, I think the Bengals defense is definitely one of the more underrated units. Their offense also did well, not great, but good, and I definitely see the Bengals winning, but it could be a trap game, especially since the Bengals don't usually play well against the Browns for whatever reason, but I see the Bengals winning here. Then you have the Steelers versus the Ravens. Steelers coming off a win against Atlanta, while the Ravens coming off a win against the Broncos. Ravens against the Broncos, their offense looked terrible. Lamar Jackson got injured, but Huntley managed to lead a last second drive to get them the win. But overall, their offense looked terrible. Their defense looked good, but it was against a terrible Broncos defense. But overall, the Ravens defense has done really well. While the Steelers against the Falcons, their defense played fine. Their offense actually has been looking better these last couple of weeks. Um, this one, the Steelers offense, I'm not sure how well it will do against the Baltimore Ravens defense, but the Ravens offense with Huntley, I just don't see them beating the Steelers. And I know this one's going to be a close game. It always is. I'm going to take the Steelers here. I'm going to take the upset. Then you have the Chargers versus the Dolphins. Chargers come off a loss against the Raiders. Dolphins come off a loss against the Niners. Against the Niners, Tua did not have a very good day, but their defense played really well. Their offensive line without Armstead also played pretty well. So I think Tua will bounce back, and especially against the Chargers. Their defense is injured. Their offense is also injured. Chargers defense overall is just not that good, even when healthy. So I gotta take the Dolphins here. And especially having back-to-back West Coast games, getting used to the climate there will definitely help. And you have the Chiefs versus the Broncos. Chiefs come off a loss against the Bengals, and the Broncos come off a loss against the Ravens. The Broncos defense is still very good. Russell Wilson had a couple of good moments, but couldn't do well. And the Mahomes offense just wasn't really insane. Had a good moments, but could not consistently score. Their defense actually played decent, but the Broncos offense this season has been so bad. I gotta take the Chiefs. Then I have the Raiders versus the Rams on a Thursday nighter. Ooh, Raiders are a hot team. I think they've won 3 straight now. Come off a win against the Chargers, while the Rams coming off a loss against the Seahawks. And to me, I think the Raiders' offense is finally starting to figure out, while the Rams are pretty much looking towards the offseason. I have the Raiders winning. Then you have the Cowboys versus the Texans. You have the Cowboys, one of the Super Bowl contenders. And you have the Texans, the number one pick in the draft. I gotta take the Cowboys here. Then you have the Cardinals versus the Patriots. This one I think is one of the more underrated Monday nighter games. Cardinals are coming off a bye and have home field advantage, so that's a big advantage. But the Patriots, they are coming off a loss against the Bills, where the defense and offense didn't play very well, and they are coming off an extended week. But against the Cardinals and Kyler Murray with Hopkins, it's going to be too explosive for Patriots, even with Bill Belichick, and I got to take the Cardinals here. Then you have the Lions versus the Vikings. Both teams have been playing well as of late. Lions just coming off a blowout against the Jaguars, where the Vikings come off a close-ish win against the Jets. Minnesota loves close wins right now. Their offense can be good at times. Same thing with their defense. They just haven't put a good game together where both of them are very good. The Lions, their offense has been playing a lot better, and their defense actually played well against the Jaguars. And I think I got to go with the hot team right now. I'm going to take the upset. I'm going to take the Lions. Then you have the Giants versus the Eagles. Giants come off a tie. Eagles coming off a win against the Titans. Eagles are definitely the best team in the NFL right now. They stomped the Titans. They shut down Derrick Henry. I think they'll shut down Saquon as well. And without Saquon, I don't think the Giants team can be good enough. So I'm going to take the Eagles here. Then you have the 49ers versus the Buccaneers. 49ers come off a win versus the Dolphins, while the Buccaneers play on Monday night. Buccaneers, their defense has played very well this season. Their offense has not. Same thing with the 49ers, especially with Garoppolo getting injured. Their offense has not played that well this year, not that well against the Dolphins either. And their defense has played great. San Francisco does have the home field advantage, so I think this one's going to be a dirty defensive game. I got to take the Niners here, though. Then you have the Seahawks versus the Panthers. Panthers are coming off a bye. Seahawks coming off a last-second win over the Rams. Against the Rams, they weren't the greatest team. Their offense definitely clutched up near the end, and same thing with their defense. And the Panthers, they just aren't that good, even though they are coming off a bye. But definitely a trap game for the Seahawks. But I still gotta take Seattle here. So there you have it, my NFL Week 14 predictions.